Not sure who really lost most in that. I'm going to go to the resource tab. It looks like so far he's lost the most, but I'm not sure in that particular battle. It's still pretty even at this point. So both are working quite hard at this point. Income is still about exactly the same sort of level of harvesters, although I've got higher amount for some reason. Not sure why that is. I guess it's because he's only got 2 bases. He's got too many SCVs, that's why that is. So yes, as I was saying, I've only recently had this... if you want to check how long your enemy has had like an expansion, just simply click on the minerals. 1400, 1450, that means I've only mined about 50 minerals from each mineral patch basically on average. So I've only got about, you know, 300, 350 minerals from all those. Barely the expansion itself was worth it when you look at it, and the time it took to move the drones over to it. So yes, that was really annoying. Meanwhile, because of this, I'm going to pause it for a second. I'm going to show you my motives. You may have not noticed it on the minimap. I certainly wasn't looking that much, but it's like, if you're going to kill my base, you know, if a Terran's in that position and he's got my base by the balls, basically, you know it's going down. Think smartly. Don't try to defend it. You know it's going down. There's no point trying to attack him once the base is down, because what's the point? You're just going to be going into a siege tank trap. Take the advantage of his siege tanks being out of place and his entire army being out of place and punishing him for it. It's like, you take me out, I'm going to take you out. So here we go. We're going to see the Mutalisks here to try and deal with any siege tanks or whatnot. Got a few Zerglings, but mostly Banelings. Now the Banelings are going to be running straight into this mineral. Look how oversaturated it is. 57 harvesters. What's it going down to? He's lost a whole ton of harvesters there, but it hasn't actually registered it. I don't know why that is. Now we're going to go here quickly. We're going to see that these Banelings aren't really going to be able to hit these Marines at all while we're still on that. So I'm going to try and kill the Medefacts as they clumsily go into my Mutalisks. Now, I don't know why it says he's still got 57 harvesters. Ah, there we go. Did you see that? It just suddenly swapped. It went from 57 to 19. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. 57 harvesters to 19. That's how good Banelings can be on an oversaturated mineral patch. Oh yeah. So he's now really feeling the pain, but he has got quite a few mules, so we're going to see his income isn't hurt too much. But yeah, it is still pretty bad. I've got triple what he's got at the moment. And whilst he's had to bring his whole entire army back, I can see that this command centre is here. Going to get the medevac first, then try and get the command centre. Probably won't get away with it, but any damage I can do to it, especially setting it on fire, is going to be a bonus. Just really putting him off his game. So whilst I've been doing that, I've been getting myself an expansion down here. Not here. Here. So we're going to see how that one goes out. So at the moment, he's got quite a large army. You know, I've done a lot of damage to his workers and that. But if we're looking at the resource tab, you know, I've actually got a larger army, by the way. But I think that's because of the workers, really. It's basically about the same if you take away the workers. But he's got a more threatening army, in my opinion. Lots of Marines with the stim pack. They've also got the upgrades: 2 attack and 1 defense, as well as the siege tanks that have also got 1 upgrade on attack. Now this is to deal with basically one-shotting Banelings and Roaches, I think, because of the whole 35 HP damage it does. Anyway, I'm not sure. I'll go back to that in a moment. I managed to catch him out. Banelings are going to see if they can get in here. If I can slip in between those siege tanks there and try and get into the Marines, that'd be beautiful. The siege tanks do get killed. Not the... well, they do actually, but the Banelings get killed by the siege tanks. But unfortunately I can't get any of my Banelings into these Marines, so it looks like I'm going to lose pretty heavily on this one. And I see if I can get that siege tank. Now this is what really annoyed me. 1 HP. I could have got one more shot at it, but because of the whole panic feature and that, I didn't. Now what's annoying about this is, once again, we're going to see that this expansion gets killed. Now how many minerals did I get from it? 1460, 1465, 1455. So I barely even got 350 minerals from this one. So we're seeing a recurring pattern here. If you don't expand this bit of Zerg when you're on the right hand side of the map, you're going to lose your expansions. Oh my god, I had so learnt a lesson from this. I'm always going to be trying to destroy those destructible rocks and then take that. That really wound me up. At least I got that siege tank there, but the rest of my Zerglings are going down. Banelings are coming in. Are the Marines going to be able to run them again? We're going to see the stim pack. They're pretty injured now, so just a couple of Banelings shots would really hurt. Siege tanks are going to do a lot of damage. The Marines are starting to choke up. The siege tanks are going to take out the Banelings quite possibly. It looks like another siege tank up here. All those Banelings going down. I lost a huge amount there. Wow, I got so carried away with that. As soon as I saw those siege tanks sieging up, next time I'm just going to run away. Learn my lesson. Banelings cannot keep up with Marines unless Marines are sort of choked into a corner. So I'm really in trouble here. I believe I stopped an expansion over here. I mean, there's so much going on in this game at the moment. I'm just trying to cover it as best as I can. I'm not going to go too far, to be honest, because it's quite a long game, so I understand it, you know. We don't want to go on this forever. We can see that a lot is happening all over the map. So you've got to really keep your APM and your macro up and your micro up in order to control this. Now I've got fed up and now I'm like, you know what, I'm going to take this out. I did actually go for another expansion here, but that's pretty much because I had spare minerals. I didn't really think that I was going to get to keep that, and it could also serve as an distraction. Now this is a bit foolish. What happened here is I just sort of moved my Mutalisk up there and then forgot about them for a moment, and that's what happens. Forget about them for a moment and they're gone. Oh, actually one thing I've got to do. Just reset fraps. I should have done that a while ago. It's been a while since I've done this, because what happens is fraps sometimes overruns a bit, so you get a delay in my voice in terms of it loses its synchronization with the actual video, my voice, because fraps over time just does that, unfortunately. So we can see still lots more siege tanks, still lots more marines. It's quite easy for the Terran to replenish his army at the moment with 2 bases. Meanwhile, I'm going to be trying to pump out units as best as I can. You can see I've got a hatchery inside my main, because you're going to need that at certain points, especially mid-game. Now we can see lots and lots of siege tanks there. I sent one Zerg in there just to test the waters, saw that it got instantly gibbed. So unfortunately now he's starting to control the middle of the map. This is making it really tricky since my expansion is over here. So yeah, he's trying to get himself a more dominating position against me. So if we go to APM, that's all pretty good at the moment. So we can see myself, I'm actually currently producing 17 roaches and borrow, because, you know, you're never going to win a game unless you try to adapt. Now, I've been playing this game a long time. This is 26 minutes into the game, almost 27 now, and we're seeing that Banelings, Zerglings and Mutas have been doing a good job, but they're coming off kind of stalematy, you know, they're kind of not properly killing him, so I need like the strength and the solidity of the roaches to really finish this one off. So we're going to see how well they actually pay off for me, because I don't think he's seen the roaches. He's been expecting it. Meanwhile, you can't actually see this army over here, but he might have got a scan on a bit of it. I'm not sure if he caught that. Now I've still got quite a lot of creep spread, so this gives me a lot of vision and a lot of comfortability basically when dealing with my opponent, because I know where he is basically. I'm pretty aware of where he is. This is what the whole creep is about, and I'm pretty confident he's going to take this expansion. You know, I haven't seen it, but let's face it, he's got all of his siege tanks here, he's got his whole army here, he's setting up camp. It's pretty confident for me at this point that he's going to want to take another expansion. He wanted to take an expansion earlier than this, so now he's got the opportunity to take this expansion. So meanwhile, I'm trying to set up a trap, hoping that it will go down the middle, but he's not going to do that. He's going to go down the right. It's not going to matter anyway, because he's got himself a Raven. He's got quite a lot of gas and not enough minerals. So a few more Ravens might have helped, but they're not that great unless you get a Hunter-Seeker missile, which is pretty expensive and hard to get to. So he's trying to get himself a nice comfortable position with his siege tanks. Meanwhile, I'm going to have to realise that I'm going to have to burrow back up with these Banelings and go in for the kill. He's got himself kind of spread out now. The Marines are starting to move in a bit. Now's the best time to go in for the tanks if I can go for it. Roaches have got to go in first, and then the Banelings come in shortly after. Banelings heading towards the Marines whilst the Roaches take care of the tanks. Zerglings getting in the mix as well, trying to take in any hits. Now the Banelings are going to do really well against these Marines, because whilst the Marines can stim, and they still run just as fast as Banelings practically on creep, they are trapped because they're going into my base. So that was a nice comfortable kill on those Marines, because they never had the comfortable you know, defensive position of their expansion to run towards. This time they had to run into my main, and they were definitely going to get killed. So whilst I'm confident, that I've basically taken care of his army, I'm going to go and see if he did get this expansion, which he clearly did. So we're going to see how many workers he loses at this point. I've still got 52 harvesters, and he's got 32. That's going to go down soon. It doesn't go down immediately, I've noticed. I'm not sure this is something to do with the patch. Obviously, he's going to take a leaf out of my book. He's like, right, if you're taking down my expansion, which hasn't actually been taken out because I still need to kill it, but yeah, I've basically taken it out for the most part, then I'm going to take care of you. And unfortunately I'm going to try and get back here, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get there in time really to deal with this. The Marines are going to be finishing off all these drones. For some reason I borrowed them knowing that the Raven was there. I think it's just a panic. There was nowhere for those drones to go, so I've lost a whole ton myself. You saw I had 52 harvesters, now I'm down to 28. So there's 28 harvesters versus 16. But because of this, the Terran, he did punish me massively, but he's going to lose quite a bit here. He still stims and gets away with quite a lot, really, to be honest. but he definitely lost the siege tank, so he's leaving his two marines there cleverly, just to be a pest. Now, whilst I'm here, I know the siege tanks are doing quite a bit of damage to my roaches, but I just want to say, screw it. You know what, we're messing around a lot in this game, a lot of back and forth. Let's just make sure that your command centers are getting killed, to be honest, so, you know, I'm really killing off your income. I know there's like nothing left there, but it's just, really just kill it, you know, for the sake of the mules and stuff like that coming down. You see I've got a Zerg here, Zerg here, burrowed, basically, was the word I was looking for. You can see this point defense drone is actually going to sort of stop my mutants from killing those marines a little bit, but not quite enough. It is a bit close. It's quite surprising how close he got to killing that hatchery, actually. And the roaches just about got there in time. Not quite actually in time, rather. But you can see this Zergling here being burrowed here. This is something you really want to do if you're a Zerg player. Zerg player. I'm getting so mixed up with my words right now. Is just sit them in particular places that you think the Terran's going to expand, because then they can't expand there if something is burrowed. Now, luckily, I got that medevac kill. He didn't repair it, because obviously we get into the game where everyone's trying to get some sort of up. There's no time to repair, no time. He's trying to get this queen desperately. The mutants come in just to save the queen in time. I could have actually transfusion there, but I don't even know that queen even existed at this point in the game. Now, I've got myself finally these gold minerals, because as we see, once again, my expansion that isn't here, wait for it, I'll wait for him to kill him. There we go. That isn't here, gets killed every single bloody time. So that is actually doing alright, because it's a lot harder to kill that. We can see the roaches. Now if you look to his screen, you can see the black mist, but I don't know if he notices this, but you see this black mist, this shows that there's roaches coming. He's trying to get a missile turret here to try and see the roaches, because I don't even know, pausing it just for a second, I noticed, oh, it's right at the end of the game anyway. What a silly time, honestly. But we can see why, actually, because he didn't even have an orbital command to scan there. So there was nothing he could do apart from build a turret, which he only had 100 minerals left to try and desperately see these roaches in time. But what happens, it's just as well he left the game, because he wouldn't like what's going to happen next. Ready? Boom. The mutants come in to finish off the marines, and the roaches would easily take care of the tanks. Now, that was one hell of a bloody game. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope we all learned something from it. Thank you very much for watching. This has been WTii. Please subscribe, rate and comment.